occupiers. The Minister of Housing wants to work with Canadians in having a study done on how it is that we can ensure that there is more housing accessible to all Canadians, and I look forward to that particular report in time.
Member for Abbotsford.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the member for his speech, but he spent much of his time disparaging the official opposition. And, you know, yes, this is politics, and I understand that. But, Madam Speaker, what was most offensive about his remarks was the suggestion that the opposition doesn't care about mental health, that the previous government did nothing about mental health. In fact, it was one of our Conservative members of Parliament, member for Caribou Prince George, who brought forward a proposal to establish a national hotline, a suicide hotline, which was passed unanimously in this House over a year ago, and yet this government has failed to implement that very worthwhile proposal. I'm asking this member, when can Canadians expect that suicide hotline will be in place?
Parliamentary Secretary.
Well, Madam Speaker, I know that the Ministry of Health, in particular the Minister of Health, is very much keen on that idea. As the motion itself has passed with the unanimous support, I think all members of the House actually support the idea of having a national suicide line. And I believe it's just a question of time. Whether it's CRTC, there is things that have to be done in order to put something of that nature into place. And it's ironic that both questions from the Conservative Party have been on health care, when that is the party that seems to want to say Ottawa should have nothing to do with health care.
The Honourable Member for Courtenay Alberni.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, I do find it amazing that this member's now up for the third time on the speech, the reply to the speech from the throne, Madam Speaker, given there's over 100 members over on that bench that haven't spoken on it. So, Madam Speaker, I guess I'm going to follow up with my friend from Abbotsford who just asked about the 3-digit hotline, because he says the government's keen on it. That's not good enough. This House voted unanimously to support moving towards a 3-digit hotline to support people living with mental health issues. Madam Speaker, through you, I asked the member, it's not about being keen. Is his government committed to following through with a motion that was passed unanimously in the House of Commons that's going to save lives? Right now we have a suicide crisis, Madam Speaker. It's the second leading killer for young people under the age of 34. Will this government respond and follow through the direction of the House of Commons?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary, 10 seconds.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, you know, I was somewhat surprised in terms of both the Conservatives and the NDP are a little upset that I'm speaking. You know, the NDP have spoken one member 14 hours on a budget matter. The Conservatives did likewise, and I respect that. You know, at the end of the day,
are going to resume debate. The Honourable Member for Edmonton Riverbend.
I won't be ceding any time back to that member, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to be able to stand in this place. It's an honor. I don't believe I have to split my time, Madam Speaker, but perhaps somebody could confirm that. I'll continue on, and yes. But it is an honor to be able to stand in this place, to be able to speak to the speech from the throne, but to also spend some time sharing the election, sharing the number of volunteer hours, and really taking that opportunity to thank so many members. So if you'll indulge me, Madam Speaker, I'm just going to read a few names into the record. We had a very active and core team that has been with me through 5 elections, many of them now, and I regret that I haven't been able to mention a lot of their names in this place until today. But Andrew Markland, Bruce Foy, Bruce McLaughlin, Brian Kim and his whole team, Deanna and Jason Bischoff, Elizabeth Hughes, Erin Allen and her wonderful partner Connor, Yvonne Martinez, James and Amanda Cadaville and their 2 lovely boys, John Whitmore, Karen Vera-Lau, who is our EDA president. Mazar Butt did a tremendous job in our handling our CFO duties. Michelle Chen, Nancy Bichet and Vieri Beretti, Norm Lorraine doing our signs, Pat Maroux sitting at the front desk, Sammy Allam, Scott Reith, Shayna and Bill Anderson, Sia Safa, my good buddy Sohail Quadri, Varun Chandasekar, and of course, Vera Fedor, who we couldn't have ran the election without her. She consistently shows up at our front office again and again, and it means just the world to me to be able to have a friend like her. And those are the volunteers, Madam Speaker. But from the family perspective, none of us are able to be here in this place without our family. And I was just able to celebrate my 13-year-old little girl. She turned to be a teenager right before my eyes. I've been doing this 10 years now. I feel she's growing up with me, either on the campaign trail or at public events. And Lily Jeneroux, she means the world to me, and was happy to be able to be home to see her just even briefly before she became a teenager, to join her other sister in the teen years. So I have two girls in their teen years, Madam Speaker, and that's all I have to say about that. But Molly Jeneroux, she's also 14. And I'm hearing I'm a brave guy from the other side of the House. But again, I'll leave the comments at that. But for them to be able to put in these 10 years with me, it makes me think, how much this job impacts them and their life and their school, with their friends, with everything that we've had to do in order to get me to Ottawa, and then leaving often on Sundays, not coming back till later in the week, missing a lot of opportunity at home to see them. It's certainly something that you have to weigh every time you run in an election, as we all do. And it's, to me, they're the real motivation for continuing to do this job, to make this country a better place for them. So if two teenage daughters wasn't enough, Madam Speaker, I also have a 2-year-old son. So he is this Saturday, he'll be entering his quote-unquote terrible twos. So I'm not sure how I plan this, having teenage daughters and a 2-year-old son, but he has really been through some of the darkest days of COVID. He's been able to really shine a light in our home. And Hugh, little baby Hugh, he's not so much of a baby anymore. He's, to me, I see just so much hope. I'm fascinated by just watching him carry about his day, play with his cars, play with his trucks. It's a really neat to revisit fatherhood in a different form all over again, I guess, if you will. And then of course, my amazing spouse, Elizabeth Clement. She's a surgeon. She spends a lot of time in the hospital and on call. Our lives often divulge when we're able to coordinate our schedules, but I find she's busier than I am in a lot of ways. But she is certainly someone that I admire, and I'm so lucky to be able to spend my life with her. I think sometimes she forgets I'm a member of Parliament, and she because she's so busy saving lives on her end, and she often I think looks at to me, Madam Speaker, is how many lives did you save today? And I like to think I saved lives, but really she's a true one. That's greatness in this in our family. So to those thank yous aside, Madam Speaker, do want to talk about three things that I think are important, and things that I'm working on. I've been working on been elected just over 6 years now, but want to continue to advocate for it. As you would know, Madam Speaker, you get inundated with so many different ideas, so many different people bring up a bunch of different things that they think are things you should be working on. So to really dive into things that you think are important takes a lot of that focus and concentration. So the first of those, being our Father's Day on the Hill event we do for men's mental health every year. And the member from Courtenay, Alberni, has been a real champion with me in that, as well as a member from Richmond Hill and the government side. And I think between the three of us, we've found, I think, a very unique friendship, if you will, Mr. Speaker, in being able to find this issue that I think connects with so many Canadians and make it a nonpartisan issue. We're able to really really raise awareness for how many men are suffering from suicide, how many men have really been impacted on the postpartum depression, post-birth of a baby. My inbox gets filled every time we do the event around June, around Father's Day, just with people who are sharing their story to us about what our event has meant to them. And we're now going into our 5th year. I haven't connected with the member from Courtenay Alberni about this, so I guess I'm shocking him in the house here with it all, but obviously we'll do the event again. I would love it to be in person as we've done in the past. We've done the last 2 virtual, but going on to 5 years of doing this with our partners, the Mental Health Commission of Canada, with the Movember Foundation, we've been able to, I think, move that needle to stamp out that stigma for men talking about